Quarter this. All right, let's do this. All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Matt Brock, Rusty the Reseller. All right, let's get this out of the way. Give us a little freestyle Rusty the Reseller first, and then we'll come back and start the real quick. You got freestyle Rusty the Reseller for us?
Oh, sure. Okay, yep, I'm going to jump in. All right. How do, cousins? This is Rusty. Just over here, just trying to buy and sell, make a buck or two, have a good time while I'm doing it, be kind to people, but also, try to find those deals and keep them rolling.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
I thought, so the first time I ever saw Matt do it, I thought that was who he was. Like, I didn't know you at the time. I knew you randomly.
It's his alter ego, Brandon.
Yes, it's so good. It's so good. And then his other buddy on there, Peaches, is another one of those. It's great.
That's
anyway.
Right.
All right. So I guess we got to try to set the scene a little bit. So it's the pandemic, you lose your job, and you have this bright idea that you're just going to start selling stuff. Is that the deal, Matt?
That's exactly right. I was faced with the challenge of that time, like everyone was. And I have 2 small children. And so I found myself very quickly, like, out of the job and home watching them. But we're a dual earning income home, like most of America, I think. And how do I make money? I can't go out and look for a job. No one's hiring right now. Everyone's scared. I'm home with my kids. I had been buying and selling on a very small scale instruments primarily on eBay for a number of years, just for fun. Like, I'd get something, I play guitar and some instruments, I'd play it, I'd sell it in a couple months, make $100. It was fun. I learned something. So I thought, well, I can do that from home. Maybe I just try to buy and sell. Like, maybe in the afternoon when my wife's home, I can run out to a thrift store and see if I can find something to flip. And I just heavily started watching YouTube videos of people who did that, just trying to learn, because, that was not my world. And so here we are, 3 years later, I started doing that just part-time, and it started out whatever I thought I could make $1 on, like just whatever revenue I can make. And now I do it full-time. I've kind of developed it into a full-time job. And it's still good, the flexibility, there's upsides, but that's how it was born. And then the YouTube side of it was, for years people had said, hey, you're intelligent enough and you can talk about things, like you could probably figure out how to, people do these YouTube things and make money. And I thought, well, it sounds good. Passive income sounds great, right? And when that started, I thought, well, why not? I mean, I'm already doing this stuff from home. I'm already buying and selling. Maybe I'll just make a channel that kind of tracks what I'm doing. And if it makes money some days and supplements this, wonderful. And if not, like, it'll be a learning opportunity. And that's how that was born.
So talk a little bit about the idea when you started shooting the videos. What was that like? So let me I'm going to back up a little bit. Rusty the Reseller is he gets mad at me because he wants me to land the plane, but Rusty the Reseller, you gave us a little clips. It's just this sort of character you created on this channel. So if you go to your channel, Rusty the Reseller on YouTube, you see you have over 1,000 videos, and they're all of you looking at things and pointing out what sells and what doesn't. So tell us a little bit about why you came up with the character and what was that all about?
Right. Well, like I said, I wanted to do a video. I didn't want to have to generate an idea of something else. So it was really more it was easier for me to just track what I was doing because I was already doing it. So I thought, well, it just adds a little extra work. I'm already going to be buying a thing, repairing it, examining it, learning about it, and selling it. I might as well just video myself doing it, and then maybe I can make some money. But the whole the whole character piece was really, I live in like Western North Carolina in the Appalachian Mountains, and so the character was sort of a stereotypical archetype of what resellers I was actually seeing and encountering in the world when I was out. So they're not, this ridiculous. Obviously, it's a caricature, right? So they're not these strange, aloof people, but the culture, there is sort of this subculture that I've encountered, and this is obviously not everyone, but there are some themes. And so I just try to pull out sort of like this over-the-top accent that's really not even accurate. Talking about what I would go out and do. And this is most of the stuff I store at my own personal residence. but it's lovingly referred to as the warehouse. So, Rusty's Bargain Warehouse is where all this is. I pretend like I have a large staff. We're coming and going. It's me, and Peaches is a buddy of mine I grew up with. He lives in another state and city too. And so, but we try to create this world. I mean, it's like a TV show to us. It's kind of the same idea. We've created characters. The characters have their own lives. They're doing their own things. It mirrors a lot of what I'm actually doing, but I'm in no way that person. So it's this weird world of make-believe things and characters, but the actual items I talk about, how much they sell for, what I pay for it, all those things, all of that is 100% real and true. So I'm taking real stuff, but I just got this, it's real things that are happening in a character world is about the best way I could describe it.
Matt, to me, your show is like a cross between Antiques Roadshow and American Pickers. It's kind of like in between.
Sure.
You go on the Antiques Roadshow, those people are like experts. I'm assuming you're not an expert, and I know you talk about this a lot on your YouTube channel, but how did you figure out what to buy and then to be able to sell it back to make money?
Yeah, that's great. In fact, I just put out a video, and you didn't even know this, but
I saw it.
Yeah, you did. Okay. Yeah. Well, I came up with a formula, and it was really, again, this was all trial and error. Like, I have an experience, I make a bad decision, then I make a better one later. I try to learn from that. Just a lot of research. You have to research what it is. And a lot of it has to do with my own financial situation. I didn't start out with a big business plan and saved money for 2 years to do this or got a big business loan. I started with nothing. I started with whatever I had at my disposal, my own finances. And so my financial possibilities are different than other people's. So I kind of work within the world of that. And since it's my full-time job, the money I bring in is not just like floating around. It's like I have a bill that I pay next week. So like I need to sell this. And so I can find opportunities that are great, but I don't have the money for it at that time. And I pass on it, or maybe I'm doing better and I do this. But the specific things for me, it's born out of sort of the utility of what I'm doing, meaning, do I have space for it? How big is it? How hard is it to transport? How much does it cost, or how difficult is it to store? Is it cheap and easy to ship? Do I have the packaging for it already? Those kinds of things, like the tangible things I have to go through in my process of selling it. And is it gonna make me money? And if I can only sell it for half of what I think that I can sell it for, is that still worth it? And if so, then that's a good buy for me. Also, the amount of time, is it gonna take me a year, or can I sell it in a week? I mean, ideally, I pay little for it. I can sell it for a lot. I can sell it within 30 days, and it's easy to store and easy to ship. Like, that's, if it marks all those boxes, then that's the optimal.
Where do you sell all your stuff?
95% of it's on online platforms, primarily eBay. I did Etsy for a while. I might go back to that. I mean, I think it's good if you're going to do what I do full time. I think it's good to have multiple outlets, because, you don't want to limit yourself. If something happens that's outside of your control that affects a store you have, like on eBay, so some things that are indicative to those types of sales is that if I sell something on eBay, I have a 30-day return window. And at the 30th day or 29th day, I could have sold a $2,000 or $3,000 instrument, and then they want to return it to me. So all of a sudden, maybe I needed that money to pay for a bill 2 weeks ago, but that money's got to go back to them now, and I get that item back. Or somebody, there's a dispute and eBay holds my money. Well, now they've held $3,000, so I'm not going to get that money back until that's resolved a month or two from now. Meanwhile, I will get no more payouts until I've at least sold $3,000 worth of things again. I have to pay for the shipping of that in the meantime before I get any money. Meanwhile, I've got bills coming in. So it's good to have multiple avenues. I sell some stuff like at an antique store locally, some stuff like off of Facebook Marketplace or things like that also. Or I meet people who they just buy silver, they just buy gold locally. And if I come across a thing, there's somebody I can call. So I think a big part of why I've gotten better at what I've done and the deals get better is relationship building. I'm not in there just to get a quick buck. I stick around and talk with the workers. Oh, here's the manager. Oh, you're asking me what I'm doing. This is what I do for a living. Oh, well, we have some of that in the back. Do you want to come see it? Well, absolutely. And then I end up buying everything in the room in the back, like from conversations like that. So I'm in my community. I want to be pouring into my community, and I want to build relationships while I'm doing it. That's just a personal thing, but it has also helped my business.
That's awesome. So you go to lockers, you go to estate sales, garage sales. You don't have to give us a secret, but like,
Sure.
is there something, a venue you like more than others to get stuff?
Yeah, that's a great question. It changes over time because this business, like everything, is it's not static. It's moving all the time. So, estate sales, I've done really well at. I think of all places, I've done the best over time. It's probably been estate sales, but like estate, so all of the places I go, estate sales, yard sales, antique stores. Um, I'll source online. I'll buy stuff on eBay and do something and sell it on eBay and and sell it for
Mhm.
more money on eBay, like on the same platform. You can do that too. Um, and you can buy things online. I mean, there's various places, online estate sales, auctions. I don't, I mentioned that I have children, I have a family, and anyone who works for themselves, it's will understand probably if you start a business, especially that you have to set boundaries for yourself or else you just work all the time. And I could be like
Mhm.
that too. I mean, if I was single right now, I'd probably work every day, just because that's who I am. But on the weekends, I try to put those boundaries in and stay with my family. So I don't do a whole lot of yard sales and things, even though there's really good things to find because that's usually like Fridays and Saturdays or Saturday, Sunday. And those days are for my family, really.
And
So
how is your wife? I mean, it's such an interesting story of the COVID thing. I think a lot of people can relate with that. How has your wife been? Not like is she mad at you about it, but like, what's I assuming that there's a lot of support that has to happen from the family. What's that been like for you as you've grown this business? Obviously, it's different today than it was 2 years ago.
right. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I wish she was here to answer this because I'd be actually interested to hear what she has to say about it herself. But she's been super supportive, and I think it was, she's always supportive of the things that I do. I think that if I was really bad at it, we'd be having more conversations. But I've been able to make enough to help with what she makes as well to kind of keep our life as we had it, the best. But she's, I think she helps me with setting those boundaries. She helps remind me because it's like anything. It's like it's on my phone. I'm on my phone a lot. So if something ding comes on, or like like, hey, can you be with us right now? Oh yeah,
Mm.
sorry, I do want to be with you. I'm just distracted by. It's always kind of happening. There's things are being sold. I'm selling things through the weekends as well. All the time, and or people are asking me questions about an item. So. Um, those boundaries are tough, but it's been fine. I think that the toughest thing for me personally has been that when you're doing this type of thing, and this is probably true of all retail sales, this is not unique to me or my situation, but you don't know how much you're going to sell in any given month. So
Mhm.
I could have a month where I only sell $4,000 worth of stuff. Like that's gross sales. It's not what I take home. It's $4,000. I'm like, phew, I need more than that. The next month it might be 12.
Mhm.
Great, it's a good month. But especially when you're starting out and you're trying to budget for your expenses each month, that's really hard because if you start off with a bad month or two, it's you know, or if you have a good month, you've got this extra money, and then a good deal comes along, you have to decide: do I put this aside for the months that are going to be bad, or do I jump on this opportunity and reinvest this money right now, knowing that
Mhm.
next week something could be tough? You just don't know. So coming up with that, and that there's no right answer for how to do that. It's different for everybody. So I've had to kind of go back and forth. And even still, it's like a weekly decision. Is this the right buy or not? Given the fact that I can't predict the next couple of months and what's going to happen.
All right, Matt Brock. I came into this thinking that I liked Rusty the Reseller more, but after hearing your story, I like Matt Brock more than Rusty the Reseller.
Well, that's kind of you.
So I want
So
to leave you with this. I got a vintage 2003 ball that I got from a Giants game. Can
Sweet.
I get anything for this ball that I got?
I don't, is it signed by
No,
anybody?
no, it's just
Was
a
it
ball.
in a professional game?
Yeah,
Okay. So it was pitched a couple
yeah,
times?
yeah,
Nice. Was it hit out into the
yes,
stadium?
yeah. It was a foul ball. I got it.
Okay, nice. Do you remember who was pitching or who hit it?
No,
Okay. If you had the ability to like certify who it was or have some sort of like external validation or verification of what it was, you'd be able to sell it for more.
yes.
Just your word, I don't know. It probably means more to you, than
What
it
do I
would
get? A
be.
dollar? Get a dollar? $2?
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Easily. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, Rusty the Reseller's
he's
got my back, Brandon.
he's very shady though, Matt. Okay, last question, and we'll let you go.
Sure.
Where do you see the show going? Larry was hoping that was wrapping it up because he did his little ball trick. But really
Yeah,
quickly, where do you see in 60 seconds, where do you see the channels going, your career, all this stuff going in the next maybe 5 years?
Well, I hate to say this, but like as long as the channel's earning me money and it makes sense to spend the time on it, I'll probably continue doing it. Where it will go, that's entirely up to whether or not YouTube is going to give me an audience or not. The second channel I started is called What Sold, and the whole idea of it is it's just about what we, so it's I'm not playing a character really, and I'm just saying, hey, look at this thing on eBay. I show you what it sold for. I tell you what I paid for it, and that's it. If you didn't know this has value, it does. Now you know. I'd made like 20 videos. We had about 1,000 subscribers or whatever. All of a sudden, YouTube says, "Oh, I'm going to heavily promote this one video. There's nothing different about it. It's just a regular video." In a week, we had like 10,000 views. Now I've gone from earning, it basically increased their projected earnings for the channel by like 5 times. Just because so like you never know. I'll keep doing that, and I'm still having fun with the buying and selling. So as long as there are still deals to be made and people are still willing to buy stuff from me, I can't predict the future. I didn't know 5 years ago I'd be doing anything like this, and here I am. So in 5 years, who knows? Who knows where I'll be.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Larry, you want to take us home?
Matt Brock, Rusty the Reseller. Once again, I'm a bigger fan of Matt Brock. Thank you for